Have you ever had a morning when you looked in the mirror and quietly asked yourself, is this really what life feels like now? Not in sadness, not in fear, just in a kind of wondering. Wondering if this is how things are supposed to go after 60, 70, even 80 years of living. The world feels faster, the body moves slower, and somehow the noise of everything makes it easier to forget the sound of your own breath. But here's a thought that might change something inside you today. What if growing older wasn't about fading? What if it was actually about becoming more present, more rooted, more true to who you've always been? What if the years ahead of you weren't leftovers, but the most honest years you'll ever live? Beyond 60 Wisdom Men Chao Qui Viva Kakban. If this is your first time here, we're so glad you made it, because this place is a little different. We're not going to rush through advice or throw 1,000 tips at you. No, we're going to talk about the things that actually matter, slowly, gently, like old friends sitting on a bench watching the world go by. Now let me ask you something. Have you noticed how many people talk about aging like it's a problem to fix? Wrinkles, forgetfulness, slower steps, as if they're all signs of failure. But they're not. They're signs of life. They're reminders that you've been here, that you've loved, lost, survived, grown, and shown up again and again. There's strength in that. Quiet, solid strength. What we're here to do is help you honor that strength, to remind you that it's okay to move a little slower now, to forget things sometimes, to choose peace over pressure. Because real self-care at this age isn't about chasing youth. It's about choosing the life you want on your terms. Let me give you an image. Imagine a tree that stood for 70, 80 years. The bark has weathered. The leaves don't bud as quickly as they once did. But deep beneath the soil, the roots run strong. That tree doesn't try to grow like it did in spring. It stands with dignity, still offering shade, still holding the sky. That's what you are. And this channel, we're just here to water the roots, to bring you little moments of reflection, encouragement, and guidance that remind you you're still growing, still meaningful, still deeply needed. So if this message speaks to you, please take a moment to subscribe. Your support helps us continue creating content that honors this season of life. It lets us keep showing up for you and with you. Now, a question to leave you thinking. Which do you believe brings more peace in later life? A, learning how to accept changes with grace. B, trying to hold on to the way things used to be? Comment below with your answer, A or B, and tell us why you chose it. Your thoughts matter here. Let's grow wiser together. As we get older, the idea of freedom begins to shift. It's no longer about chasing big dreams or doing everything yourself. It becomes something quieter, something deeper. Real freedom is being able to live each day with dignity, confidence, and peace in your own space. And that's what independence really is. It's not about proving anything to anyone. It's about knowing you can still do the things that matter and that your choices still shape your life. So, how do you protect that kind of independence after 60, 70, or even 80? It starts with small, thoughtful actions that you do every single day, not to impress others, but to take care of yourself in a way that gives you strength. Think of it like brushing your teeth or making your bed. These aren't grand gestures, but over time, they become rituals of self-respect. Take something simple like getting dressed every morning, even if you don't have anywhere to go. Choosing clothes that make you feel comfortable, neat, and presentable is a small act that says, today still matters. Or preparing a warm breakfast you enjoy. It doesn't need to be fancy, just something that brings warmth to your belly and rhythm to your morning. These little things remind your body and mind, we're still here and we still care. Independence isn't about refusing help either. It's about knowing what you can do and having systems in place for the rest. Maybe it's setting up your home so everything is within reach. Maybe it's keeping a simple daily routine written down so you don't forget things. Maybe it's asking a neighbor to check in once a week. These aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of wisdom. They show that you value your safety, your comfort, and your ability to keep living your way. Let me tell you about Rosa, a 76-year-old woman from Arizona. Every evening, she spends 10 minutes planning the next day. Just 10 minutes. She looks at her medicine, checks her appointments, and lays out her clothes. She says it helps her feel ready. like she's still steering the ship even if the waves are sometimes rough. That's independence. Not being alone, but being in charge of how your day unfolds. And if something becomes harder, like lifting heavy items or remembering which pills to take, that doesn't mean giving up. It means adjusting, using pill organizers, buying lighter groceries more often, setting reminders. These are all ways of saying, I still run my life. Not perfectly, not like before, but still meaningfully. Because the truth is, independence isn't just about physical ability. It's about spirit. It's about believing that you still have power in your own life and doing what you can to protect that power. So today, I encourage you to ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do to stay strong, steady, and in control of my day? Then do it. No matter how small it seems, it matters. Your independence is not measured by what you can do alone. It's measured by how much you still honor yourself. If you're watching and this speaks to you, drop a quick comment. I still choose my day. It reminds others they're not alone. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to this channel so we can keep growing together. As the years pass, our minds, just like our bodies, need a little extra attention. It's easy to think that forgetfulness or slower thinking is just a part of aging, something we can't do anything about. But the truth is, your brain is like a garden, and with care, even in your 70s, 80s, or beyond, it can still bloom with sharp thoughts, new ideas, and joyful memories. Keeping your mind clear and alert isn't about doing brain games or taking expensive supplements. It's about living in a way that keeps your thoughts engaged, your emotions balanced, and your spirit curious. Every day brings small chances to strengthen your memory and focus, and those little choices add up. Start with a simple habit: conversation. When you talk to someone, even just about the weather or what you had for breakfast, your brain wakes up. It recalls words, connects feelings, and helps you stay grounded in the present. If you live alone, a daily call to a friend, chatting with a neighbor, or even talking to yourself out loud while cooking can all keep your mental wheels turning. Another quiet trick for a sharper mind is storytelling. Think back to a time from your childhood or a trip you once took and try to retell it in detail to a loved one or even in a notebook. Describe the smells, the faces, the emotions. This isn't just about remembering the past. It's about exercising your memory in a way that feels joyful. Reading is also a powerful way to support your mind. It doesn't have to be a long book, a newspaper article, a short story. Even reading the instructions on a package out loud helps keep your attention muscle strong. And when you come across a new word or idea, take a moment to look it up. That spark of curiosity lights up parts of your brain that protect long-term clarity. Sleep plays a big role too. It's during rest that your brain resets and stores away what you've seen and learned. Skipping proper sleep isn't just tiring, it's like walking through fog all day. So even if your sleep schedule has changed with age, make rest a priority. A calm evening routine, turning off bright lights, enjoying a warm drink, or listening to soft music can prepare your brain to truly rest. And never forget the power of movement. Yes, walking and stretching help your body, but they also wake up your brain. Blood flows, oxygen rises, and suddenly your thoughts get clearer. Try taking a short walk while naming 5 things you see or hear. That mix of movement and mindfulness is like a morning tune-up for your mind. Let me tell you about Bill, an 81-year-old who starts each day with a little notebook. He writes down 3 things: 1 memory, 1 thing he's grateful for, and 1 question he's curious about. That simple routine keeps his memory fresh, his spirit lifted, and his mind active. He says it's like giving his brain a gentle hug before the day begins. So if you ever feel foggy or forgetful, don't panic. You haven't lost your sharpness. You just need to care for it. Feed your mind with words, movement, sleep, and conversation. Be curious. Be kind to your thoughts, because your mind, no matter your age, still wants to learn, to connect, and to shine. Sometimes we focus so much on the body, what to eat, how to move, how to rest, that we forget the quieter part of our health, how we feel inside. But our emotional well-being matters just as much, if not more, than the physical. It shapes the way we experience each day. It colors our mornings, fills our afternoons, and settles into our nights. And as we grow older, caring for our emotional health becomes a sacred kind of work. Let's face it, Getting older can be lonely at times. Friends move away. Family gets busy. Some days feel slower, others feel too quiet. And those feelings, if left unchecked, can wear us down. Not just emotionally, but physically too. A heavy heart can weigh on the whole body. But here's the good news. You don't need to carry all of it alone. Start by checking in with yourself each morning. Before the news, before the chores, just ask, how am I feeling today? It sounds simple, but that question creates space. It lets you notice what's stirring inside. Maybe it's peace. Maybe it's sadness. Maybe it's a quiet kind of joy. Whatever it is, honoring it matters. Talking helps too. Even a short conversation can lift the weight off your chest. Maybe it's a neighbor you wave to, a friend you call once a week, or someone from your church group. And if talking isn't your way, try writing. Keep a small notebook. Jot down a few thoughts each day. What you're grateful for, what you're missing, what you hope for. That simple act of putting your feelings into words helps make sense of them. It softens them. There's also comfort in routine. A warm cup of tea at the same time each afternoon, a walk just as the sun sets, a familiar song you play while folding laundry. These rituals aren't silly, they're anchors. They remind you that even when life feels uncertain, you have something steady to hold on to. And please remember, it's okay to feel things. It's okay to grieve, to miss someone, to feel tired or frustrated. Emotions aren't signs of weakness. They're proof that you're still connected to life, still deeply human. When we allow ourselves to feel, we also open ourselves to healing. Let me tell you about Ruth, an 81-year-old who lost her husband a few years ago. For months, she felt numb. She went through the motions but didn't feel much. One day, she picked up an old photo album and decided to write a letter to him, as if he were still there. She did this every week. Some letters were sad, others funny, others full of memories. Over time, something shifted. She didn't stop missing him, but she started feeling alive again. That's the power of emotional care. If you're feeling off, talk to someone. Reach out to your doctor, a counselor, a spiritual leader, or even a trusted friend. There's no shame in needing support. In fact, asking for it might be the strongest, bravest thing you can do. Emotional well-being isn't about being happy all the time. It's about being real, being present, and finding peace in the small moments. And when you take care of your emotional world, the rest of life feels a little more manageable, a little more meaningful, and a whole lot more full of heart. There's something quiet and powerful about taking care of your appearance, even when no one is watching. It's not about impressing anyone or keeping up with trends. It's about looking in the mirror and seeing someone you respect. In older age, the simple routines of hygiene and grooming can feel small, but they carry deep meaning. They remind you that you still matter, still belong, and still have a reason to start the day with intention. When we're young, these routines happen almost without thought. But as the body changes, even the basics, bathing, brushing hair, trimming nails, can feel harder. Some might think, does it really matter if I skip it today? But those who stay consistent know the answer. Yes, it matters. Because it's not just about being clean, it's about holding on to dignity. Take Helen, for example. She's 83, lives alone, and every morning she puts on her favorite cardigan, brushes her hair until it shines, and dabs on a little rose-scented lotion. No one is coming over, no appointment on the calendar, but she says it makes her feel put together, like she's stepping into the day as her best self. That's not vanity, that's self-respect. Good hygiene isn't just about how you feel inside, it affects how others treat you too. People respond differently when you look well cared for. They listen more closely, they smile more easily, they see you as capable, alert, and engaged with life, and you begin to see yourself that way too. Now, maybe some tasks are harder than they used to be. That's okay. There's no shame in needing a bit of help. Whether it's using a long-handled brush for your back, asking someone to trim your toenails, or simplifying your wardrobe so everything is easy to wear, you can adapt the routine without giving up the habit. The goal is to make the process doable, not perfect. And let's not forget the small joys. A clean shirt that fits just right, a haircut that makes your eyes light up, a favorite bar of soap with a familiar scent. These are more than grooming. They're comfort, memory, even connection. They bring back pieces of who you've always been, reminding you that those parts are still there, still worth celebrating. Grooming can also create structure in a world that sometimes feels too loose. When you wake, wash your face, dress with care. You're telling your body and mind the day has started and I'm ready to meet it. That message matters. It grounds you. It builds confidence. Remember Roy, the retired teacher? Even after moving into assisted living, he kept his morning routine: shave, button-up shirt, and a splash of aftershave. When asked why, he smiled and said, "I may not teach anymore, but I still want to show up with pride." That kind of spirit is contagious. So if you've been feeling a little off lately, start here. Take a warm shower, comb your hair slowly. Pick out something to wear that makes you feel like yourself. These small acts aren't about being seen by others. They're about being seen by you. They say, "I'm still here. I still care." And truly, that message can change everything. Thank you for spending this moment with us today. If this video touched your heart, gave you something to think about, or simply made your day feel a little brighter, we invite you to become a part of our Beyond 60 Wisdom family. Just hit that subscribe button. It's completely free, and it means the world to us. Your thoughts and feelings matter deeply. So please, leave a comment below. Let us know what spoke to you, what you'd like to hear more of, or even just a few kind words to keep us going. We read every message with care and gratitude, and we use your feedback to shape the next videos with even more love and intention. Every view, every share, every comment is a gentle reminder that this community is growing not just in numbers, but in heart. And that gives us the strength and joy to keep showing up, to keep making meaningful content, and to keep walking this journey with you, one video at a time. Thank you for your presence, your support, and your trust. We hope you'll join us again soon. Until then, stay kind to yourself, stay curious, and remember, you're never too old to live fully, to grow, and to be inspired.